Hello and welcome back to Sherwood Park Toyota. Today we're looking at a Kia Sorento SX in the color white. Let's take a look. Starting up front here, underneath the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, automatic transmission, gets up to 281 horsepower, 311 pound-foot of torque, towing capacity up to 5,000 pounds. Up front, you've got your LED headlights, custom daytime running lights, and fog lights down below. Then if you look just up on the outside corner of the fog lights, you'll find this little round nodule. Those guys are your front parking sensors. Right underneath your front logo is your front-facing camera. Going to the side here, we have the black 20-inch alloy wheels. Side mirrors have integrated turn signals, blind spot monitoring, and then additional cameras on the side here, which contribute to the surround view camera effect. On both of your front handles, you'll find this little black button. We'll talk about that guy more on your driver's side. Moving back, all your rear windows come with factory tinting, and up top we have black roof rails. Approaching the back, much like the front, there are backup parking sensors going the whole way across. On the left-hand side, you have your all-wheel drive badge. You've got the Sorento badging across the back, and on the right-hand side, you have your SX badge. Underneath the rear logo is your backup camera. To open up your trunk space here, reach directly underneath. Right under the E, you'll find a little button. Give it a press, and your trunk should automatically rise up for you. Inside, we have both the second and third row seating. Second row seating is the independent captain's chair, meaning there's no middle seat in this middle section, just two separate chairs. Take a look at those guys in a minute when we get up there. Third row seating has a straight 50-50 split right down the middle, allowing each side to function independently. If you're looking to lay your seat down flat or pull it upwards, you can do so by pulling on this little handle. You'll feel it click, and it will also allow you to just adjust the degree of angle at which your back seat is sitting upright. If you want it at a straight 90 degree, if you want it at a 45, there's a few different options available to you. For the third row occupants, they have access to plenty of their own storage and cup holder space, charging ports there as well, and then you also have the fan speed adjustment for the third zone area on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, it has the chargers as well as the cup holders. On the right hand, you'll also notice this power adjustment option for the seats. This allows you to put your second row up and down with the press of a button, and next to that is the 12-volt adapter. If you're looking for your tire kit, look down at the ground. Underneath of the mat, you'll find a little handle. Lift this guy up, and you've got your tire inflation kit to the right, and then just plenty of additional storage space to the left. Across the back here, we also have the Sorento branded rubber mat liner. Goes across the dedicated storage space in the back on the floor and the back of the third row seats, so that when you have it laid down flat like this, as many do for cargo purposes, it'll cover this whole area, and if you have anything in here that sits upright, it will still protect the back of the seats here. This does two things for you. First off, this feature helps protect your vehicle from damage from your cargo, as well as protecting your cargo from damage from the vehicle. Secondly, it is much easier to keep your rear cargo space clean because you can just pick this up, remove it out of this space, and shake it off or rinse it off, versus everything getting stuck to that typical sticky carpeted interior. To close up your space back here, you can reach up to the handle on the right-hand side or press the electronic button. There is both one to close and one to lock your space. Next, let's take a look at the inside. Inside here, the interior upholstery is this burgundy red colored leatherette. It has this beautiful, almost quilted-like texture to the seats as well. On the side of the seat is where you'll find a couple of adjustments for it, so you can move it back and forth, adjust the seats to lay down, give yourself access to the third row. There's also bars underneath the knees, specifically for moving the seat along the track that it sits right on top of, so you can simply give yourself a little bit more or less space. There's an additional control up top on the outside corners, which will simply move the seat forward on the back's rest part, so it'll lean forward and give you more adjustment. Again, you can use this to gain access to the third row, or you can use it to simply adjust how far back you have your seat sat for comfort purposes. In the middle, there is access to the folding down armrest here, so you can have them folded up or down. When you first unfold it, it will go all the way downwards, and then at each stage, you can lock it so that it stays upright. Lots of different options to make sure everybody's comfortable. Up overhead, there is a panoramic moonroof for everybody inside to enjoy. Then on the back of your front passenger and front driver's seats, you have this mesh pouch storage available. Back of the console, you have your air vents, and then chargers down below. There are also chargers on the insides of the seats here. And currently we have the Sorento rubber mats installed in this unit. Inside your door, you've got plenty of storage options. One of the 10 Bose speakers that you'll find throughout this unit. You've got your power window control as well as heated seats. There's both a high and a low setting. This is for the second row seats. We have this nice metallic highlighting pieces. You'll find plenty of this throughout the cab. And we also have this built-in sunshades. This guy unhooks, rolls all the way upwards, and then locks into place underneath, helping to keep the sun out of everybody's eyes without impeding on their view. Of course, can just as easily unhook, roll all the way down, and then goes completely flush in with your door frame. Back again to this little black button. This guy indicates keyless entry, so if you have the key fob on your person, you can press this button to lock or unlock the unit. Inside the driver's door, right next to your handle, you have your memory seat settings. Down from there, you have power windows front and back, window lock, power lock system, side mirror controls. This very top control on the side mirrors allows it to fold in and out, so you can press this to do that at any time. Inside, of course, we have electronic seat adjustment, back, front, up, down, lumbar support, as well as having the underneath support. It is that top elongated button. Then you have your hood release latch on the bottom left-hand corner of your dash. On top of that, controls here for dash brightness, lane departure, your traction control, and the power trunk release. I'll up here and take a closer look at the steering wheel. So it has the same burgundy leatherette as the seats, as well as having the black outline. Then you have your paddle shifters on either side up top. Left-hand side here, you have your radio controls, hands-free communication, and volume. Then right-hand side here is where you have the controls for your dash display here, as well as having everything for the adaptive cruise control, which will include both sonar and lane departure. Looking on top, you'll find this little cutout space in your dash. We don't have it. If you look right here, you'll be able to see it displayed. This is your heads-up display. This guy displays your speedometer straight ahead of yourself, so that when you're driving, you don't have to take your eyes on and off the road to keep an eye on that very pertinent piece of information. And then in the middle here is where you have your access to the infotainment display screen. This is where you go to access much of the information about your daily driving experience. Starting up front, you can have access to this typical home setup screen, and it displays a couple of different things for you. You can swipe over or press the setup button to get to this next one. You have access to the maps, navigation, phone projection, voice memo, climate setup, your media radio, HD radio, quiet mode, passenger talk, sounds of nature, UVO, as well as notifications and user manual through here. So lots of different things to go through. First off, obviously we have the built-in navigation. You can go into the navigation settings to further customize it, but the map itself can display, and as you can see, it is fully touch sensitive for ease of use. Then back inside of here, you have access to your connected devices and sound. This is all for your audio listening. A lot of this can be accessed along the left-hand side panel too. So for radio and media, these are both for audio listening. Radio itself specifically is AM, FM, and satellite radio. Then if you go into the media, this is more tuned towards the satellite, as well as having access to anything through Bluetooth. So that includes both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, as well as having the sounds of nature here. So you've got a couple different selections in there, so that when you're driving, you don't have to have nothing, even if you don't feel like having the radio actively playing for you. As we saw back in setup, there's a couple more things available to you to have a different adjustments to your vehicle as to your personal taste, but there's lots of things to explore. In the top right, you also find this little star guy. This allows you further customizing to your vehicle, so if you don't want to go searching through all of these menus to find something, you can customize it through there. You have the seek and track for your radio there as your tune scroll as well. You have your enter tune and file knob, and then the power volume is on the left-hand side. 4 ways in the middle, push start ignition to the left, and then a climate control center in this middle area here. Dual climate control up front here. Currently it is synced up, which means both sides will work together as one system. But if you turn off the sync, then each side can function independently. You have defroster both front and rear windshield in the top right corner there. Underneath, you have all of these air vents around it, but you also have your heated and cooled seats. 3 vent levels for each. You have the orange for the heat and the blue for the cool. Then tons and tons of storage all throughout this middle section. Starting up front, we have this kind of pop-away space, so you can keep it closed to keep everything looking sleek. Inside, you have all of your different options for chargers and adapters. You also notice this funky little symbol right here. This guy indicates that inside of here is where you have your wireless charging pad. Then that allows you to not have to worry about having your charging cords on you unless you want it specifically for adapting, but you also have the Bluetooth for that purpose too. So you have 2 different storage spaces. It'll keep everything nice and snug, little built-in tray design so they don't go bumping around too much. And if you don't want to keep an eye on this, you can just close it and it will go away. Then, of course, you have your gear shift, all of your driving options, so your comfort, EcoSport, Smart. Then you have your heated steering wheel control, auto hold, downhill assist, parking brakes. You have your rear parking sensor controls, and then also the surround view camera. So when you give that a press, it will then flip to this camera view. You can change the perspective that you're looking from on the left-hand side to give yourself a full look, and then there is, of course, further customizing available for this. And when you press that same button again, it will just make it disappear. Then cup holder spaces, you have another little storage space in the back, and then the console space itself. You have a tray up top and then deeper storage down underneath. On the right hand side here, you got a lockable glove box down below. Up overhead on your rearview mirror, 1, 2, and 3 buttons, or 3 dots rather. These guys are your garage door openers. Overhead is where you have your SOS and different help accessories. Then you have access to your overhead lighting controls and the panoramic moonroof. Thanks again, folks, for joining us on this full video tour for this Kia Sorento SX in the color white. It is located here at Sherwood Park Toyota at 31 Autumn Mall Road in Sherwood Park, Alberta. You can also reach us at 780-306-7703. And remember, life is full of choices. Let us be yours.